Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Rule Waves 3 as Japan. So we are still of course at war with Britain, with so far still only the US joining in on the war. However, tensions between Britain and some of the other countries, particularly Germany and Italy, are starting to get up there, so maybe potentially they end up in a war as well. Last part went a lot better. In fact, actually, I think the last two parts went significantly better for us than parts of that first battle, or first part rather, of this war. Let me go and get my timer started, and let's go ahead and continue on. So, our troops are still fighting. Well, they're resisting the British in Rangoon, or excuse me, in Burma, but we'll just call it Rangoon because presumably we're probably fighting relatively close to the port and whatnot, roughly. But the game's not telling us that we're fighting valiantly. It just says, that we're resisting the British, safe in our fortifications and things like that, which to me, I feel like that's probably a step down from fighting valiantly. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But yeah, that is certainly something that I feel is the case there. Um, One thing I do think I'm going to go ahead and do real quick, though, even though we are losing money, although we'll be making some of that back up in a little bit. Well, do I want to do it as a new design or as a just rebuild these again? I don't think these have the fancy schmancy. Yeah, these don't have the fancy schmancy ASW mortar slash rockets. So, we're kind of at the point where, well, we could just rebuild it. That is probably too small to do everything we want. Also, we are not doing a low freeboard. That is a stupid idea. Cost. We'll just do oil and turbine. There's literally no reason to go to diesel. That just increases the cost too much. I'm not going to bother giving you guys any AA because it does use 0 good to have. You don't need any mines. Well, I guess you can have mines. Oh, do we not have the ability to... Really? Is that right? Well, we can't put depth charge throwers on anymore, but is that... That can't be right. No, we can. Why are you not showing it as an option? There we go. I think the game bugged out because it was trying to design that with 400-ton displacement. And it didn't quite know how to handle that because it didn't realize, hey, maybe I should make these available once you're up at the correct tier level. Nope. Forget all that stuff. You don't need to be that fast. We'll just do 20 knots. It's a nice, decent speed. Not too fast, not too slow. I'll give you some mines because why not? Basically. I wish the game... I really do wish the game would tell you the maintenance cost of a ship in this screen, because this is the build costs and whatnot. I would love to have the maintenance cost, just personally. Does it matter really? No. But I would still like to know it. It's not generally going to be a deciding factor on whether or not I build a design as is. But there we go. That has 9 ASW compared to the 8. It's not really that big of a difference of the 1939 design. Although can the 1939s get those refits? Just out of curiosity, can we do that without too much of an issue? Oh yeah, we can do that without much of an issue, and we can even slap some mines on them, because why not? Okay, game, you win. you win. We won't design a new Corvette. It's not much of a reason to do anything better than the 1939s. So where are the 1939s? There they are. I want you to go ahead and build me 12 more. Do I need 12? Not really, but we're, I think, slightly under our necessary ASW value to minimize issues there. So let's go ahead and get that up a little bit. And we haven't really refit any of our Corvettes like ever, but maybe we'll do that with these 1939s because they're actually the first ones that I think are potentially worth it. Although really I should probably do it with the other ones as well. I just, haven't. Because we haven't had the funds and the time to really justify it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get those built. Those will take a little over a year. This war may or may not still be ongoing. I will put you onto auto-move ASW ships, I guess. I guess I'll let you do that. Let's go ahead and continue on. And actually move on to the next turn. Ooh, we have 2 CLs, and they have an estimated force of a battle cruiser, 2 armored cruisers, 5 light cruisers, 3 CVs, 4 CVLs, an armored merchant carrier, a seaplane carrier, and a boatload of destroyers. They will, of course, say yes to the battle. I'd be shocked if they said no. This is an unexpected battle, evidently, so I can't do anything about it. I apparently have 0 information as to what the British are bringing in. But we are getting 3 dreadnoughts from the Americans, including an all-forward design with the Idaho. We have the Washington, which I kind of like. I don't like 3 turret designs. I like 4, personally. One second. Back dog decides to scratch at my door because how dare you close your door? Okay. Let's see. So, okay, the Nevada's basically in Idaho. The only difference there is the size of the guns. Nope, they are in fact actually the exact same size guns. There is basically no difference between them. So the Americans have shitty crew quality. Surprisingly, actually, our guys are better. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. Do the Americans have better radar than us? I do not believe they do. No, they have improved search. We have improved search. So they're in no way better than us. Well, we're going to be relying on the Americans for destroying that supposed battle cruiser that the British have. And apparently a dreadnought. Did they have a dreadnought? I swear it was just a battle cruiser. Probably misidentifying the battle cruiser as a dreadnought and the battle, and a CA as a battle cruiser. Lots of stuff there, actually. It's a little hard to tell exactly what direction they're going, though, because we're getting conflicting reports. Some claim that they're heading, like, due west. Others say they're heading more or less due north. And joy, oh joy, it looks like they have their cruisers. Or not cruisers, their carriers. Our CLs are going to turn north for a variety of reasons, but the obvious one being that they are more important to me than the American ships are to me. I get literally nothing for the American ships surviving, while I get a lot more stuff for my stuff surviving, personally. The Akitsushima takes a missile. And apparently it's not sufficiently damaged enough to break off, which I do not agree with. I believe a missile with 113 flooding should warrant it, but evidently the game says, no, I don't agree. So we need to slow down the entire division until that flooding is minimized. Oh, is this a... This is a coastal raid. So they need to destroy that installation. Which annoyingly they can do with their aircraft if they decide to just completely ignore my ships. Okay, that flooding is dealt with. Let's get you back up to speed. Royal Sovereign, 12.5-inch belt. The Washington game. I'm trying to look at the Washington itself. Thank you. 17-inch guns for you means you can pen that pretty easily, somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 yards. You're at 12,000. You're a little too far away. Well, that Royal Sovereign is not having a fun time. But here's hoping we can... I really wish you guys would stop turning off like that to avoid the enemy aircraft. Stay away from that battle cruiser. Thank you very much. Idaho took a torpedo. And the Idaho has managed to basically deal with all of its flooding. There we go. And the Idaho just took a missile. Now it's on fire. Probably focus the main guns on the Indomitable now at this point. Really, that is outside your arc. I don't agree with that, considering it's basically not moving, and I feel like you probably should be able to do it. those missed. Try again. There we go, one of those hit. It is now dead in the water. Now, I would love to go after the carriers, but I don't think we have the speed necessary to be able to really do that, unfortunately. And yes, I want you guys to prioritize the BC now, if you don't mind. Because the BB is dead in the water, so there's not much of a reason to keep shooting at it. Nevada. You need to slow down, buddy. Let's get... Well, try to get some land-based cap up on our... dreadnoughts there. Oh, for a second there, I thought I saw something about 2-inch guns and was very confused. You guys still have... Yep, you still are flooding. Need you to deal with that flooding if you don't mind. Okay, Washington's radar was repaired, but I don't care about that. I want you to deal with the flooding. So you can go full speed. And the Idaho just took a torpedo. Yeah, the Idaho ain't having a fun time. Idaho's gonna break off and slow down. Now, I wish we had scouts still up in the air. Come on, Akitsushima. Excuse me, Akitsushima, not Ikitsushima. Getting them confused. Nevada is flooding because it took another torpedo. The Idaho is looking like it's probably going to end up sinking because it cannot seem to deal with this fire. Yeah, you guys could just figure out how a flame, or I was gonna say a flamethrower, but that's not what you're looking for. If you could just figure out how a fire extinguisher works, that'd be great. Yeah, game, I realize that, but I think their bigger issue is the fact that their structural integrity is very, very low. More so than the flooding, than anything else, really. Also, I'm not a big fan of the fact that you have submerged torpedoes on your dreadnoughts, America. How old are some of these? 1931. You were still putting them on your dreadnoughts in the early 30s? What the hell are you doing? Okay, well, I think we're just going to try to minimize our losses now at this point because we are not going to be able to shoot at them with it being night because America and us don't yet really have blind fire on like any of our ships. I know we've unlocked it. I'm pretty sure the US has unlocked it as well, but we don't actually have it equipped on our stuff. Oh, you actually dealt with your flooding finally. Took you long enough. Very fast. Why are you coming after me? I mean, I say why. I know why. It's because it's the middle of the night. You figure you can probably get close enough now with your destroyers in particular. And have minimal issues. Oh, the Washington is, yeah, the one that does not have torpedoes on it. Forgot about that. Oh, really wish the Akitsushima would figure out how dealing with flooding works, but evidently that is not something that they have been taught at the Naval Academy. And Idaho takes some more torpedoes, and it has a jammed rudder, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But they at least got the jammed rudder fixed pretty quickly, but now they got a fire and more flooding. Okay, fire was dealt with. They still got the flooding. But they have time to deal with the flooding. Not so much the fire. Oh good, you guys can finally speed up. So now we're just waiting for the Idaho to finish its. And it just... enemy ship just took a torpedo and... I guess... exploded? I don't know, because we're not picking up on radar anymore. No, it is apparently still here. There we go. We just couldn't pick it up on radar. Or see it. Idaho, how are you doing back here? Nope, still flooding. Indomitable, where are you? That's a destroyer. I think that's the Indomitable up there. There we go, the Indomitable is now dead in the water. It's a good start. Idaho, you still back here flooding? Yes, you are. So they're going to get the installation down. That's not too surprising. It's not really that hard, and the issue is that because they had the carriers, it's kind of a pain in the ass, and they were, of course, able to make use of those carriers to do some damage beforehand. Put a couple more shots into you before I tell you to head into port. Still waiting on the Idaho to deal with flooding. Come on, Idaho, I know you can do it. Nope, you cannot do it. And I cannot pick up survivors. Get Tsushima. Stupid thing ruptures because of the high speeds. The high speeds of roughly 18 knots. Okay, now we just kind of gotta wait for the game to let us end this. Okay, there we go. Apparently the game has decided that they did not actually manage to destroy it. If I'm reading that right. I believe that would say success if they did in fact manage to destroy it. So we lost an American dreadnought. They lost a dreadnought and battlecruiser. I guess technically it's a good trade on our part. Don't think that's fully accurate, but whatever. It's a marginal victory. Okay, a couple more ships brought in and something finished refit, which I believe that was something in the Indian Ocean, so we're going to send it off there. I don't really have a good reason to keep you around, so I'll let you be tossed out, I guess. New light jet fighters ready. Fighting continues in Singapore. Sunk by a mine. British dreadnought or destroyer. I don't know why I want to say dreadnought sometimes when I see DD. Reportedly hit a mine and sunk. You are beat to hell, so you get to go in for a refit. But let's make sure I don't have another design for you, but I don't believe I do. So, improve your fire control, improve your main guns, make them dual purpose. That'll put you at 4 turns, which, I mean, I'll survive, I guess. Slap ASW mortar rockets on you. And I suppose that will do for now. It's going to be a bit pricey, but I think it's overall worth it. Yeah, you'll probably go for a more extensive refit after the war, and potentially also including replacing your machinery with diesel as opposed to oil and turbine. I mean, oil and turbine isn't bad, but it's certainly not the best. Yeah, okay, just double checking on that. I vaguely recalled that being the case. Okay, you are slightly... Okay, maybe we don't give you the mortar rockets right now. We'll survive without that. I'd rather you have the potential to get the better radar whenever we finally start putting that on our stuff. Don't know why we haven't. I assume our guys are prioritizing trying to actually fit basic radar on everything before they start trying to actually upgrade everything to level 3 radar. Which is annoying because I'd almost prefer the level 3 radar. A bit more, personally. But, you know, that could just be me. Now the question is, do I go down to 3-inch auto-loaded secondaries? I don't think there's a significant benefit for you guys to use the 3-inch or the 4-inch over the 3 with autoloader. Also gives a slight, very slight boost to your heavy AA factor. And I can also slap an extra set of guns on. It's also nice. And you know what? Screw it. We can put those ASW mortar rockets on there. This is just, again, a very, very expensive rebuild for what is effectively just sort of meant to be a, well, you're going to be in dock anyway. Might as well. But Yep, let's go ahead and do that. Let's not dual purpose the main guns and use that to be able to slap 2 extra sets total of 3-inch guns, which that also gives us even more heavy AA factor compared to if we had 1 less and dual purpose. Let's do that. Granted, now because of the autoloader, you guys will just go through your ammo like there's no tomorrow, but we'll have to figure out a way to deal with that, including probably giving you more ammo when you go in for your next rebuild, which is going to be more of a true rebuild than the current one. Now, who was it that finished rebuilding? The Tagasago. There you are. I'm like, I'm not seeing you. Where are you? There you are. Go to the Indian Ocean if you don't mind, because I'm fairly certain that's where you were. If I'm wrong, we'll deal with it later. Let's go ahead and slap on the rest of the Kinugasas that have been built there. Few more ships will be ready to go next turn. Okay, save and continue. Another battle here. I don't really have anything, so hopefully this is not a surprise attack, so I can just tell them, no, sorry, I don't feel like fighting that. I will fight you here. Now, the only thing is I'm not a fan of fighting you at that location. This is a terrible place to fight. So I'm going to say no again. I'm going to say no to that. No intel on what you have. Got a handful of destroyers and a couple of American armored cruisers. Okay. Damn, you guys are way out ahead. Everybody still has only improved radar. Or improved search, rather. I'm gonna put... Well, actually, I can't even tell you guys to do a scout. The enemy is supposedly actually over here. We're claiming a single CL, which, I mean, if it is true, without any backup, we'll take care of that easily enough. Yeah, I was going to say I'd be shocked, though, if that is in any way accurate. We have a ship here. This is... that would be those things, which I don't want my destroyers getting anywhere near. The destroyers are going to attempt to hunt down the CVs, because if we can deal with those, that makes my life a hell of a lot easier. However, I will admit that I do not feel like that is in any way an accurate heading for those CVs. They're probably... for launching aircraft, they need to turn into the wind. I don't think they're heading northwest. Well, that might be their normal heading when they're not avoiding, or at least trying to avoid. Also, really 8-inch guns, America? Really? On armored cruisers? Especially for late 20s designs? I mean, I can kind of forgive you for that, you know, in the missile age, because the guns aren't really your primary weapon. Wow, they got very unlucky there. Oof. Houston is not having a fun time. Houston is going to break off and head to port in the dead of night. You guys are going to turn around because I don't need them sneaking up on the Houston as it attempts to flee. Now, I don't think we did enough damage to slow them down. So they might outrun us. No, it looks like we are gaining on them. Ever so slowly. Oh shit, they're turning south. And dodge. We will try to engage them from behind to hopefully minimize the number of guns that they can shoot at us with. Yeah. Head roughly along the coastline because knowing carrier AI, they would have at some point proceeded to start hugging the coastline. He's dead in the water. Let's break off because those guys hurt quite a lot. So far, we're not having any luck finding the CVs wherever they may be. I think we're just going to say screw it and head to port because evidently we are not finding them anytime soon. And I'd rather minimize our losses, especially because we don't really have anything down here. Everybody head into the safety of port as you get the opportunity. We are freaking out because of a friendly merchant. Okay, just set that to auto for the duration of the battle, because we don't have any of our stuff actually out in the field anymore. Those motor torpedo boats are moving pretty far out. They don't usually get too far from the coastline, but they're making a break for it. Okay, and yep, the CV's headed out into the open ocean. No, the Americans have been forced to seek internment in a neutral port. Studies of enemy aircraft has given us the performance data for the British light jet fighter, the Bolton Paul Battle. That is a stupid name. It is faster than ours, but I think it might have a smaller combat radius. We can double check that. And I know for certain we have better firepower. I think we're 16 if I recall correctly. There we go. Airborne radar improves night search or night air search and attack. That's always nice. Ooh, the Americans actually had a much better thing this time. They sunk a British battle cruiser with 0 losses on their part. There we go. We are making money. Now, who are the guys that finished rebuilding? I don't know, because you just tell me that they did. That is always exactly what I want to hear. Well, I believe it is the Takao, which I think goes to Southeast Asia. And the Suma, I believe, was the Indian Ocean. Yeah, let's have the Kaga go ahead and re-enter building status. We will continue to lose money for a bit, but we'll free up a fair bit once the construction here for the dock size finishes in 1 turn, and then 3 more turns after that, the Akitsushima will finish its rebuild, which I feel like that rebuild has had delays because I don't believe it was supposed to be. I'm pretty sure it was always supposed to be 4 months, but it's been like at least 1 turn already. Actually, 2. It should be 2. So, not quite sure what's going on there. Waiting on the Kinugasas to finish their rebuild or their workups, so we can send them down to Southeast Asia with the other ones to back them up. Do we want to stay on fleet support? Because I really feel like fleet support isn't doing a whole hell of a lot of good for us. It may just be me. Yeah, let's go and switch back to prize rule, because I really don't think fleet support's doing much for us. It doesn't help that the game has evidently decided to just put all of our submarines in Northeast Asia. It does not seem to be quite working as intelligently as one would expect. We have 66, so what I'm going to do, I think, is send like 40 to Southeast Asia, and we will send the rest to the Indian Ocean. I think that works. Granted, I can guarantee that that will take us over our base capacity here, but we were basically already going to be sitting at over our base capacity anyway, so what difference does it make? I cannot read that entire tooltip. 1 second. Okay, that's the total ASW value ships slash air. Realistically, the way tooltips should work is that if you are so close that it will go off screen, it should actually write it the other way around. So like these are being cut off because they're so far to the right that the tooltip itself should either be shifted to the left so it fits on screen, or basically instead of being written in this, oh, I guess that's left aligned format, it should be put into a right aligned format, which will also have this similar effect of basically making sure that it stays on screen instead of being cut off like that. Whatever. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time where we will be continuing this war. Until then, goodbye and farewell.